This damn thing. Well, that pissed me off.
I'm back.
Hi, man. There's Ben. That gives us 40 more minutes. Hopefully we can get everybody back.
And then 3. All right. 4. Look at us.
Everybody's coming back.
I'm just curious, to anybody who has residential rentals, what your payment of rent was for April. Like what percent of your residents actually paid rent? Is there anybody that didn't?
I got about 35 rentals going right now, 35 that I manage. I got about 10% that are sort of trying to stiff me and different things like that right now. But I'm posting eviction notices, and they said you can't evict me, and I said, yeah, but I can as soon as I can. And
right.
You know, and whoever I get after this, I say, well, I need to talk to your previous landlord because, you know, did they stiff you because of the coronavirus? Did they really have a job? Anybody that's not paying me right now, I'm having them at least email me something from their employer or some kind of letter saying, hell, they're not working. A lot of these people are working, still getting their money, just using this as an excuse not to pay.
I can tell you, we on our scale. So on my Kentucky side, I have 40 units over here, and I had one person asked to get out of a lease. I need to get better numbers from our senior property manager, Allie, because for April we would count like, I don't know, 375 units. We just took on a huge 300 unit portfolio, so I'll get really good numbers next month.
Yep. For, I don't know, anybody who wants it, Brandon Turner put out like a kind of a response on how to deal with residents who say they can't pay rent. I kind of springboarded off of that and then created an outline on how to respond to residents not paying rent. I put my email address in the comments if anybody's interested.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yep.
I'd love for you to email it to me.
I'll shoot you an email. Nice thing about this is you can multitask.
Yeah, I'd like to have a copy of it.
Yeah. I'm just going to put tenant response. And
Did you guys get shut down temporarily, or was it just me?
we all did.
Everybody.
I did as well.
We all did.
Okay.
They only gave us. They're only giving us 40 minutes.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna have to do the upgrade.
Yeah, we can grow this thing, Jim. Today was obviously the biggest attendance, to date.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think each week it'll continue to.
The web is the way to go.
I still like, once this all. Okay, TW, I'll get that to you. Hold on, I'm making a note to make sure I send him the paper he wants. I still like doing, I still like face-to-face business, and I'm sure we'll resume our breakfast at some point, but we can continue to do a web meeting because I think it has weight as well. And I also like to be able to record it because we are getting views of it later on. Oh, Ben, thank you for posting that. I didn't know I could do that.
Hey guys, non-boomer here. Figured out how to upload a document. So feel free. I think you can just click on it to download it.
Yeah, I can just figure out where to put it. Documents. Oh, damn. Yeah, that worked kind of cool. I'll upload the, if I can, I'll upload the crypto paper. It's pretty simple As long as I can find it. There it is. There it is. that is as simple an explanation as I have of the blockchain. And if you understand the blockchain and why the blockchain works and the security of the blockchain, you'll understand how like Bitcoin has value and how they create value for these coins. Oh, you're welcome. And then we're gonna, hopefully by the time we have another meeting, we'll have a soft launch of a new website. It's just gonna be, it's a really simple, kind of an educational website. It's called Easy Digital Trading, but that's all I'm allowed to say so far. We're finishing up the operating agreement and stuff like that. So this time around, I partnered with Ezio and another guy and to roll it out better than they did last time.
Hey Jim, who's Andrew on the call? Was he on the beginning call? Is he an investor, realtor, Andrew?
Hi Andrew, I'm gonna type in who you
Does
are
anybody
or
know
what
Andrew?
you're looking for. Andrew, he's a realtor from Northeast Ohio. Oh, you're with Berkshire, aren't you? Yeah. He's one of our agents and from our Slack.
Okay.
So I put this meeting out on the company Slack. Slack is the weirdest term I've ever heard for an app for communicating intercompany, but Lori is on it with me, and she's our commercial agent up in Cleveland in the Salon area. And then I guess looks like Andrew is. He didn't even ask me. I should have known the answer to that because he had sent me a message on Slack, the link. But he's a newer agent. It looks like from probably same. You up near Cleveland, Andrew? Let's see. Stowe.
That's a suburb of Cleveland, I'm sure.
Okay. Oh, between Akron and Cleveland. Okay. I've only been up there a couple of times. They sent me up there a couple of years ago. They sent me up there to teach some continuing ed courses. I had 2 days of continuing ed I taught up there. And they sent me in February, and I was like, do not do that again. It sucks up there in February. It is cold. Like it has hurt you cold up there.
Jim, do you want me to give the new residential lending guidelines in 5 minutes or less for this audience, or not really, in terms of down payment for residential loans, credit score requirements, et cetera? Is that on your agenda, or do you want it to be, or not really?
Yeah, go over it right quick.
So
I think it's good for everybody to know.
Yeah, there's just a big audience here, so I don't know what you want to talk about, but we've been on this for 40 minutes. I think we've scheduled for another 30, 40 minutes. But so let's start with conventional. There's 4 types of residential loans. There's conventional, there's FHA, there's USDA, and there's VA loans. Okay, that's the 4 types for residential loans. The credit score requirements of conventional are 640 and higher. The credit score requirements for the other 3 loans, which would be FHA, USDA, and VA, with me at least, are at 620 today. Okay, so nothing in the 5s anymore. A conventional loan typically requires a down payment of 5%. So now I'm going to give you the down payment requirements. The down payment requirement for FHA is 3.5%. USDA is 0 down loans, and most VA loans, Matt Perkins, Mr. Veteran, Matt York, I think you might be a veteran, but they are also 0 down loans. Okay. That's just kind of like the parameters, what to look for if you're trying to pre-qualify somebody who wants to buy or sell and get a residential mortgage today. I can just tell you the overall atmosphere is we're looking for people with better credit and better job times and better incomes. One of the biggest problems right now with making loans is just ask the question, are you still employed or have you lost your employment? We can't make loans to people who are furloughed or unemployed, guys. So, deal with that on the front side of things. Don't wait till the end. So
right now you got a big pool of buyers who aren't available because they're all laid off.
Matt, did you have a question? Did you raise your hand?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So again, that was like 3 minutes or less. There's a lot more to it. Our underwriting guidelines are about 1,400 pages per loan type. So if anybody has specific questions, just ask them or put them in the chat and we can get through them during this call.
So the good news is things are happening. It's just a little harder to get, and you have a smaller pool of buyers because unemployment is so high. That's really
Has unemployment reached 8%, 12%? What are we seeing yesterday or today on the news? I haven't watched the news today.
I don't even know what it is right now.
Anybody?
Last I heard, it's over 11%, and I don't think that took into account the 3rd weeks of job losses. I think that was at the 10 million unemployed from last week. I think we're at 17 unemployed million now. I also heard a number, somebody said that about every million is roughly 1% of unemployment.
Okay.
It's at 17%.
It's about right. It's rough.
Yep.
It's really rough right now.
Question is, how long will that last? Who knows?
Politically speaking, I don't know how much of an appetite the country has to going on much past May. Like May 1st, I think people are going to start getting really skippy. You're already starting to see it. People are protesting in a lot of places now.
Does anybody think unemployment will reach 20% over the next few months? Jim, what's your thoughts on that?
For sure.
How about 30%? 30%?
I think that's in the projections. There's a lot of variabilities that I'm sure get built into that. It's kind of like you look at the P-score and the variations on the data models, and it's in the realm of possibilities, but who knows? I think we're going to get 20 in the next week or two here.
Yeah, I think
we're already at 17%.
Yeah, I think 20 is a given. I think 25's a real possibility. 30 I think is the top end, but that's just my personal opinion.
Mike Arnett, what are you thinking on that? 25% realistic unemployment over the next few months?
I think 20, definitely 25, we're going to be in a world of hurt, I think. We're already in a world of hurt, but.
Are you, Mike, are you seeing people stopping their insurance monthly premium payments yet? Or what's your company doing about monthly payments?
Well, a lot of the companies that I insure, a lot of the carriers that I use are giving, I guess, a forbearance for a premium. They're not canceling anybody, but they're going to make that money due once everything comes about. I think the next 2 months, most of them are not canceling anybody if they miss their payment.
Overall, I think that's what mortgage companies are doing. That's what you landlords are doing. That's what Duke Energy is doing. That's what the insurance business is doing. They're just, I think everybody's trying their best to help people, starting with the government down, and just not evicting people, not foreclosing on people, not canceling insurance payments, at least for the next 3 months and maybe even longer. So it's kind of good, it's kind of bad, but we're all in it together, really.
I think Andrew had made a post about his sister being a microbiology. She doesn't expect much change through the summer unless we find a magical treatment option. Honest to goodness, if we have to sit back and wait for a treatment or vaccine for this to be over with, I think Matt, you are popular.
Hello.
Mute him.
Oh, yeah, I do have that power. I forgot.
Damn phone's ringing.
I heard it. We all heard.
Sorry.
I think if we have to wait that long for if we have to wait for a vaccine or a treatment, this is not going to go well. I don't think any of this goes well at all. But that's, again, my opinion. They're going to have to open up the economy before 18 months. People won't. I don't think people stand by and just let it happen. Oh no, I wasn't. Yeah, Andrew agrees, but and there's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of people who think we should just stay like this until they can give them a shot, which that's just not good for me. Anyway, anybody got any deals they want to present to the group, or you have any needs, or you have any questions, you need help with anything? Now would be a good time to put it out there.
Well, I'll start, and I guess starting with you, Matt, and anyone else, but I'm going to be out of my Latonia flip and my Dayton flip here soon in the next couple of weeks, both of them. So I guess I'm out. I'm out there looking for deals again, Matt. You know, looking for properties to buy and flip. So I don't want to hold. I want to buy and flip. So that's my ask of the group is bring me a deal.
I've got the list here in front of me right now. I wasn't putting it together. I've got 12 that we're flipping right now. They're all
Find me a 13th. It sounds like those 12 are taken.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But Tony, if you want one, I can find it for sure. I mean, I just sold 2 last week, 2 cheap ones, 29,000 and 35,000.
I am looking again, Matt. So yes.
Yeah. You know, I'm waiting to hear back from Heritage Bank today through Steve Stanton. Steve is somebody we know. He's a wild and crazy guy. He's got about 40 houses that he owns right now. He's flipping a couple. And all his deals came through Heritage Bank, where they financed the flip and stuff, sort of like what you did, Tony. Well, Heritage did some stuff with you, too, so you're familiar with the program.
Yeah.
And we heard last week that they're putting a screaming halt to everything, of course. And I heard the board was meeting yesterday to see if they would do these 2 deals with Steve. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. Because Steve is in the precarious position as, you know, because he's a flipper and he's got one main crew that he uses. So if he doesn't, if Heritage doesn't do these 2 deals, he's going to have 4 or 5 guys sitting on the street with nothing to do. He can probably keep one of them busy, you know, taking care of maintaining his rentals and stuff, but still he's going to lose these guys. And this is a great crew, you know, if Heritage doesn't come through with these 2 notes. And the board supposedly met yesterday with Heritage. You know, Chris Caudell died, you know, a week or 2 ago. And so it seems like they're still functioning and everything, but that put a wrinkle in everything they're doing. And I'm just waiting to hear back from Heritage board today to see if they're going to fund these 2 deals. Because I got 2 agents on the other side that are just beating me up, and I can't tell them, you know, the virus might kill these deals. I don't know.
So, you know, Heritage Bank is no different in this next statement as a JP Morgan Chase or Fifth Third Bank or Finance of America. They too may not make these type of loans, you know, right now.
Yeah.
So just want to put that twist on it. It's every lender is rewriting their programs, and some are suspending operations and some are closing their doors, and we'll see what happens.
Luckily, everything I had in the pipeline is still closing. I mean, it don't seem to be really affecting that stuff. It was already, if they were locked in, they were locked in. It's still going to close. Like we got 3 closings this week still coming up. So,
well, I hope that's the case for everybody. But again, not being negative, just being real is, you know, I had deals in the pipeline in March that were going to close in March, residential investment transactions. And the company had approvals out there, and they were just pending closing dates. And they said, "Look, we're not funding anything, period." So that does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not in the bank, Matt, until it closes and funds.
These are not investor things. These are residential transactions. So it might mean a difference.
It is. I think it's the huge difference. Investor stuff always comes to a halt. They get creamed first. I mean, last recession, the exact same thing happened. It was the investors got hit first.
You know what?
They're higher risk transactions, guys. I mean, when you look at an owner-occupied transaction and compare it to a non-owner-occupied transaction, they're night and day.
Well, something to keep in mind, you know, I've been licensed 26 years, so I was here in 07 and 08, and my business went through the roof, mainly because I work with cash buyers.
Yep.
Everybody needs a place to live. They will find a place to live, and it might take 6 months or a year for these owners of these properties to realize they're not going to get what they want, where we can beat them down to pennies on the dollar and make a fortune. Yeah, I hate to say that, but everybody makes money in recession. Some people lose money. A lot of people make a lot of money.
Eric, what's your talking as a realtor now, not a flipper, but what's your take on? Are you seeing a lot of buyers? Are you seeing a lot of listings? Are you not seeing much? Are you slow, busy, or how's your
Well,
real estate
I've got
business?
3 in a pipeline, and they're, like you've stated before, once they've already got locked in, we're still moving forward with them. But I don't have anything new coming up, so to speak, because I feel like everybody's come to a screeching halt as far as that goes. I mean, I do have one client that wants to list his house, but he doesn't want to list it now during all this stuff's going on, because he doesn't want, people going in and out of his house, or just putting it on the market and it going stale because people not looking, or, whatever the case may be. But that's that.
Sees that potentially, Eric, or anyone listening, as an opportunity. A lot of people, you're right, Eric, they won't want to list their home today. So therefore, if you're one that wants to list a home today, like I did last week, I sold it in one day. So I think competition's down from that perspective. So, get those people that will list. I think their house is going to sell pretty quickly. That's kind of what happened with me in Latonia and Dayton last week.
Combined lock service. We got the apartment changed at 807 Scott.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the flip side of that, like I mentioned earlier, I do have a buy level coming up. If anybody's got a buyer, it's going to be all new granite, everything new top to bottom.
What town?
With a pool.
How much?
Independence. It's going to be
How much?
probably going to be around 185.
Ooh.
It'll be all brand new. Yeah.
Tony, you need to prove Milena Morrow for that one.
Yes.
Right? See if she can get the
Stainless
one.
steel, swimming pool, whole deal.
What was I going
Yeah,
to
we
say?
heard 807 Scott Street. Yeah, we know you're pushing that one.
No, that's they changed the keys. I was combined lock. I was supposed to meet them down there and at 10:30, and they just called me and left me a message saying they already did it.
Okay.
I just have to go. I have to go down there and check out. I have a vacancy. Yay. Let's see, Andrew. I have 2 that found new homes and sped them up. 1 live already, and another today will go live. Oh, so I guess up in Cleveland, they're still listing and getting some stuff done. That's good to hear. I mean, my multifamily stuff, I have 1 deal that's supposed to close in 10 days. We closed an investment house last week. We're closing another investment house Monday. And then the only other thing I got is that big flip in Fort Thomas. If anybody wants a big flip in Fort Thomas.
Well, maybe I do, Jim. We'll have to talk about that.
Okay. That's a pretty one. That's a pretty deal.
How much is it? What is it? A multifamily?
No, it's a 4-bedroom. It's got 1 full bath, and I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 half baths. And it sits on over a third of an acre lot, and it's flat in Fort Thomas. House across the street just appraised for $515. This house with probably, if you want all out on this house, I would take out a couple of walls and fix up the kitchen and make one of the other bathrooms a whole full bath and spend about $75,000, and you'd have a home that's worth $525 to $550 easy.
What can I buy it for? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You can probably buy somewhere between $325 and $335.
I've got 3 buyers. Send it over to me.
Okie dokie.
So 400 in it, thereabouts, and a little over 500 out of it.
Yeah, you should be all in for 400 and out it over 5.
That's like the one we just bought in Park Hills on Lawton. We paid $233 for it, and we plan on listing it for like $6 1/4, something like that. when it gets done. Working on it now. And Tony, don't call my buyer. That's the same buyer Tony's thinking about calling right now.
Well, he's my client also, so I financed that deal in Park Hills.
Well,
I know you did good.
You buy this one or finance it. I'll send it. I'll send them over. I'll send it over to you.
Hey, I'm a buyer, I'm a seller, I'm a financer, Joey, and I work out, Joey.
It'll work out.
Now remember, Glenn Kukla, if you're still on here, yeah, I want to be your realtor on that transaction.
Glenn is off, Matt. He had to check out.
He had to check out.
And then I got our buddy out in Florence way, the wild man out there that is a buyer for that.
All right, I'll send it over to you. I have the spreadsheet even made out at like 335. I'll send it over. That's the price.
So do we
might be
have
able to get a little less.
Do we have a list of all the investors, so to speak, emails and stuff, just to kind of spread deals around?
So what I try to do is when we do this, if everybody will go to, if they haven't already, if you go to my business Facebook, and I think most of you are on there. If you're not on there, just like my business Facebook page, and I try to post things on there. And as this grows, what we'll do is I'll start gathering more data as far as most everybody on here. I think TW and Andrew might be the only two people I don't have their emails. Everybody else I do. So we can certainly send out information, that's for sure. And there's Andrew's. Sold Miller 7. Does anybody have anything else? I will say, and I don't know anything about, oh wait, Eric, you did a person ask this too. What is Adobe Creative Cloud? Is that anything worthwhile?
It's software.
I mean, is it software we're dealing with?
Well, yeah, it depends on what application needs it.
What's it do?
Well, it depends again on what application needs it. It's Adobe, so it's got to do something with reading and writing.
I just saw an advertisement. If anybody hasn't seen it, I don't know how it came up across my feed, but they're the Adobe Creative Cloud Masterclass is normally $1,600, and if you want to do it, it's $34 today. You'll find a bunch of that sort of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that they're giving away right now, like education and continuing ed. There's a ton of stuff you can learn. Whether I did a class last night on on basically how to improve my podcast. So hopefully my podcast for those listening will get better. So there's all kinds of different things you can do out there. I'd encourage you to learn about blockchain and cryptocurrency because it's coming. I don't think there's any avoiding it anymore. That's about it. That's all I got. Anybody got anything else I want to go over while we're here? No. I see a lot of nodding. No. Andrew and TW, I appreciate you coming. Come back next week. We do this every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. I'll make sure that it's not interrupted next time. And that's about it. So thank you guys for coming, and ladies. It's been another great meeting and another podcast episode of Bourbon Bites in Business. Can't wait till we can get back in a restaurant and have a shot and eat some food. And other than that, I'll see you guys soon.
All right. See ya.
Goodbye. Goodbye.